Hi everyone, my name's Carrie and I'm an animal keeper here at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. And here at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, one of our biggest goals is conservation and protection of wildlife and wild places. And one of the best ways that we can do that right here at home in our beautiful state of Colorado is to minimize our impact on wildlife by leaving no trace whenever we choose to engage with wildlife and wild places out in the state of Colorado. So today I'm going to be giving you a few tips and tricks on how you can do just that. So our first tip has to do with proper disposal of waste. Whenever you enter into the backcountry or any state park or beautiful space, you always want to make sure that what you pack in, you also pack out. You can also help by minimizing the impact from other visitors by packing out any trash that you might find when you're exploring beautiful Colorado wildlife. So I have here a few examples of different types of trash or human waste that you might find while you're out exploring beautiful spaces. Things like plastic, wrappers, we call this micro trash. It's really easy to spot bigger pieces of trash like plastic bottles or things like that, but these tiny little pieces of trash that are a lot harder to spot are just as important to be taken away and properly removed because they don't biodegrade properly in the environment that they're left in. Other things that you might be thinking it's okay to leave when you're out hiking in the backcountry are biodegradable organic materials. So things like orange peels or sunflower seeds that might seem natural and harmless can actually take years to biodegrade into the soil and environment. So it's really important that even natural substances we're packing out of the backcountry when we enter into those places and making sure that we take everything with us. You can even turn it into a fun game by trying to see how many pieces of trash that you find and engage with other people that are on your trip or even your kids to make it an easy and fun thing to do. So carrying a plastic bag like one of these on your hikes and walks with you can make a really big difference because then you'll actually have something to pick up and place trash in. So you can take trash, place it in one of these bags, and that way it's all ready to be properly disposed of once you get back to your vehicle or your home, and you'll have it all ready to go just to throw away. This is also a really great way to repurpose plastic bags that you might get at the grocery store or the supermarket to make sure that they're getting secondary use. Another really great thing that you can do to make sure you're minimizing your impact when you're traveling through the backcountry especially is to minimize the risk of fire. Colorado is a state that's really prone to wildfire spreads, and so in order to minimize the chances of those damaging wildlife and wild places, we want to make sure that we're always responsibly extinguishing any fires that we may be having in the backcountry. So to give you an example of how to properly extinguish a fire, I have here my campfire grill with me today. And the correct and best way to extinguish any fire that you may use in the backcountry or even in your own backyard is to fully extinguish it with water. Using just dirt or soil can not always guarantee that the fire is going to be completely extinguished. So to make sure that all coals are completely extinguished, you're going to thoroughly douse the fire with water. And then once it's cooled, you can even tap and spread the ashes out, kick them around a bit, and make sure that it's completely out and drowned. That way it ensures that there is no chance that the fire could possibly spread to any other areas. So this is what a fully extinguished fire should look like. This one is obviously with coals. You may in the backcountry be using wood or tinder, but what you're looking for is completely ashed out, no signs or heat coming off of the fire, and no red coals or glowing embers. So another really great way that you can minimize your impact on environments that you're visiting whenever you're out in local Colorado wild places, or even just parks in your local communities, is to leave what you find. Oftentimes it's tempting when you're visiting wildlife and wild places to want to take home a souvenir, something to make that really special experience stay with you. And you may think it's tempting to pick a couple of wildflowers or take home a few rocks. But if everyone goes into those spaces having those thoughts, soon you're going to be left with a field of completely empty flowers. Making sure that you're leaving what you find helps ensure that it's there for other visitors to enjoy and that those items are left there for the wildlife to use to preserve their homes and their spaces. So in this video, we've covered how to properly dispose of any human waste and trash you might encounter when you're out in the wild, how to minimize your campfire impacts to prevent forest fires, and leaving what you find whenever you're out in wild places. In our next video, we're going to tell you all about respecting wildlife and how to be courteous of other visitors when you're out exploring wild places.